Emails are highly valuable, but a lot of emails are getting left unopened and unread. So, how do you send that perfect email? What's a formula for sending out a perfect email that actually gets opened and read and clicked through? My name is Michelle Gifford. I am the founder of the Business Mom School, which is my free program that helps you build a business online. So, if you are not subscribed to this YouTube video, make sure you subscribe. And also, if you want to get an email every week with training to be a better business mom, and also an email with updates on the marketing and trends that are happening, then make sure you text BMS to 951-309-7885 or click the link below, because I know that you don't have time to waste as a business mom. And so I want to make it very easy for you to grow your business. So today we're talking about sending the perfect email because it is important. Email lists are very valuable. And the reason is because you actually own the contact information for the people on your email list. And this is a big deal in today's world because, we are all on social media and we're all trying to get new followers, but we don't own those followers on our social media platforms. We are borrowing access to them. Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, they own the followers. They own the ability to contact those followers. And we don't have that. And so if an algorithm changes, if we get locked out or if something happens to our account, then we need to have a way to access and communicate with our audience. Our posts are getting seen less and less organically by our audience as well. And so we want to have a place that we can communicate with them regularly, that we don't have to mess with the algorithm. An email list also helps you sell more because you can automate your emails so that you can be selling even when you're sleeping. So email lists are a really big deal for growing your business. And if you don't have one, you need to get one. But most of the time I hear people say, I have an email list, I've started it, but I don't know what to email out. And how do I write an actually good email that people want to read? So in this video, I'm going to walk through the formula for creating the perfect email, what you need and what to do. As in everything that I talk about, it all starts with your brand messaging and knowing exactly who you're writing the email for and what you want them to do. Because our emails should have a goal, right? It should have a purpose. And those goals can be to sell things. It can be to communicate with you on Instagram, maybe come look at my stories. It can be check out my new product. It can be delivering valuable information. It can be get people to a blog post. It can be getting people to click on your affiliate links. There's a lot of different goals that you can have for your email. And if we are clear on those goals, then it makes it easier to write a better email because we can write and get people to do exactly what we wanted them to do. So when I look at people's emails, one of the biggest mistakes people make is that they are sending people to 10 different links instead of having one call to action and one place that they should go. So step number one is we know the person and we know what we want them to do with that email. What is that call to action? And then we need to think about, okay, if we know who we're talking to and we know what we want them to do, how can we get them to do it? What is the problem that we are solving for our audience and how can we connect with them? I use stories as often as possible because you are building a personal brand. And so that means you can share and use your personal stories to connect with your audience and show them that you go through the same things they go through. It's a big deal. So I think are there any stories that I can connect and relate with to my audience to get them to understand this point and then get them to click and buy or click and go and see? And so I will brainstorm. I will think about that before I even start my email. I am doing this, right? I know who my person is. I know what I want them to do. And I brainstorm ways that I can tell it in a creative way. And stories are a really good way to do that. Once I have those thoughts down, then let's go through actually writing the email. So I would start with my headline first. Headlines are the most important part of your email because they are the gatekeeper to people actually reading your email. The headline is the only thing that people see in their inbox. And so if people see that and they aren't inclined to click, then guess what? They don't see the rest of your email. So we need to make sure that the headline is really good. A good email headline is pretty short. And because most of our emails are being viewed on our phone, we only have so much of the screen that we can fill. And so we have to be very brief in our headlines. Let's talk about some of the tips that I have to make sure that you have really good headlines. So first, again, we're going to keep it short because most of us are viewing on mobile and we just don't have a lot of space. So don't use filler words like and the, or, we can't be lengthy. So we put the important words at the beginning so that people can see those first. And we also like to keep these action words. We like to spark curiosity. We want what we put in our headline to relate to our content in the email. but we don't want to give everything away. We want people to be curious enough to click. You can use numbers like three steps to better emails. That would be a good one. 5 ways to revive your plant if you're a plant shop, or don't take this picture, take this picture if you're a photographer. So think about short, catchy things that you can say that can spark curiosity to what's in the email. And another way you can do it is ask a compelling question. So think about what your audience is currently going through and ask a compelling question that they will really relate to. So tired of not knowing how to run your business? It's a good question. Ready for pictures you actually love? Good for a photographer. Why is your plant not growing? Let me tell you. Good for plant shops. So what is the goal of your email and what's a question that would really relate to your audience? Okay, so we have the headline. After the headline is written, there is like some preview text. And with the preview text, I like to be very specific in letting people know what the email is about. If I'm going to help people take better pictures, it'd be my top 10 tips to getting better pictures of your kids. Just be very specific. The headline is going to get their attention and the preview text is going to get them to click. And so it can be very specific of what they're actually going to get by clicking and opening the email. If you are wondering and you're like, okay, that's good advice, but where do I go for inspiration? One of the things I would do is go to your inbox. Look at the emails that you have opened and look at the ones that you have not opened. And look at those headlines and which ones are resonating with you, which ones work for you, and which ones aren't. And the ones that are working for you that you're actually clicking and opening, keep a Google Doc of all of those really good email headlines and start repurposing them for your content. Of course, you're not going to copy them, but repurpose like, oh, I could use that idea and make it mine. That's kind of what we want. But pay attention because there are people sending us emails all the time and you're opening some and you're not opening the others. So go and see if you can tell the reason why you're opening these and why you're not. Okay, so go to your own inbox for inspiration. So after the subject line and the preview line, we just have the body of our email. And we open with a word of greeting, whether that's hey, and then someone's name. I really recommend that you put their name in it. So in your email marketing system, you can make it so the email is personalized to the person that it's sending to. This just adds a personal touch to things. So it makes it feel like it's actually directed to them and not just like this broadcast email. Then you're going to write the body of the email, the thing that you want to tell people. Most people are going to skim. So I try to make my emails very skimmable. So that means that I'm going to have headers in between different sections of the email. So it makes it easy for them to look through and say, okay, yes, I know what this is about. Now I know what to read. I also will think of a story. Like I said at the beginning, I'm going to lead with a story because people like stories and people want to engage with stories. And stories are so personal that it allows people to not feel like they're just getting this sales email or that they're just getting, sold to all the time. And the stories build a connection and add authority for you. And it makes it so people actually want to read. If you just list a bunch of facts, that's not great because people are not going to read that, right? They can go to encyclopedia, they could Google stuff, but they come to you because of that personal connection and the stories that you have around your brand. So tell a story and lead that story into the pain point of your audience. So I recently sent out an email to have people sign up for my Business Mom School. So I have an email list, I sent it out and I wanted them to sign up. I told the story of a time when I went to the grocery store and I had a cart that was overflowing with groceries. I'm standing in line to check out and I just kept getting the look. Now, if you've ever been here where you have this overflowing cart, the look means that people behind me were looking at me like, oh my word, that lady's cart is so full. I'm so sad I'm behind her. And so then I went in to relate it how like it's hard to feel different. It's hard to stand out. But frankly, I have a bunch of kids to feed and I don't have a ton of time to be at the store. So when I go to a store and do grocery shopping, I do a bunch at one time. And so that's just my life. And that's probably their lives too, right? The people that I'm writing to that will really relate to them. And they probably had that happen to them before. So I told that story and then I said, hey, I know what it feels like to feel different. And I know what it feels like to feel different in the business world as well, because, you have all these people telling you all these things to do, but as a business mom, it doesn't all relate, right? And so I said, hey, I have this Business Mom School. It's totally free. I would love for you to sign up and it starts in a couple of weeks. So I told the story, which brought them into my life and helped them know that I know how they feel. And then I felt that way and I have a solution to their problem. You can do this with about any topic to think of a story that will relate to your audience, that will help them see that you have empathy, that you understand what they're feeling, and then give them a solution to their problem. And that solution can be something free or it can be something that they actually pay for. And make sure in the body of the text that you deliver what you promise in the headline. Never do like a clickbaity headline that when they come to read their email, they're like, oh, she lied to me. That's not what this email was about. Because our emails are here to build trust and to add value to our customers' lives. And if we lose trust, then we lose our customer. And we don't want to do that because we're here to help them and we're here to serve them. So once a body is written, then you can sign off with your name. And I always add a PS because statistics show that the PS is one of the first things people read. So in the PS section, I almost always point them to my call to action. So what do I want them to do? In that example with the grocery cart, my call to action was something like, and if you sign up now, then I'm choosing 100 of you to get a Business Mom School box. It added some urgency for them to act. Don't wait for the PS to give them a call to action. Do that in the body as well. But the PS is just like an underscore and then in a place where you can add some urgency to get them to act now. All right, my friend, you did it. That is how you write out a perfect email that is actually going to get open, that's going to get read and clicks through, because we don't want to just write emails just to write emails. We want them to be good. We want them to be of value that our audience opens, clicks, and eventually buys, right? So pay attention. Pay attention to the emails you're getting. What makes them good? Why do you click? Why are you reading? And start incorporating some of those things that you've learned here and then in those things that you're noticing, and start sending an email. Don't wait until you're perfect at sending emails, because you have to start now. You have to start emailing people to get better at emailing people. And the more you email your audience, the better you'll get and the better you'll understand exactly what they like and what they need. All right, let's start emailing and make sure you're subscribed, and we will see you next time.